Do you roll your eyes at the thought of standard operating procedures? SOPs? Come on, business leader, you gotta tell the truth here. If so, I want you to know you're not alone. This is not the most exciting part of running your business. I get that. But SOPs aren't just for big companies with endless resources. In this episode of the podcast, I'm busting the myths around SOPs and sharing why every small business owner needs them, whether you're flying solo or you're scaling fast. Stick around because I'll walk you through how to create them. And yes, it's not as painful as it sounds. Let's do this. Are you that driven entrepreneur who believes that working harder holds the key to your dreams? Are you drowning in the day-to-day tasks, wishing you had more time to strategize and cast the vision for your business growth? Hi, I'm Donna Dubé, your guide on this entrepreneurial journey. I've walked in your worn-out shoes, burning the midnight oil, convinced that sheer hard work was the secret to success. Just one more email, one more task, until I found myself on a one-way track to burnout. But here's the twist in the tale. I discovered that success isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about being intentional with our time. It's about steering our ship with focus, because no team, system, or automation can outperform a lack of direction. In this podcast, I'm sharing with you all the strategies for business growth that it took me years to learn. If you're ready to step out of the daily overwhelm so you can amplify your profits, then I'm ready to teach you. I believe the only limit to your business growth is the one you set for yourself. Go grab a notebook, warm up that cup of tea, and let's do this. Welcome back, small business owner. I hope you're having a great week. Today, I want to talk about something that might not get your heart racing, but it's so crucial for your business, and that's SOPs. Yes, I know, standard operating procedures don't exactly scream fun or exciting, but stick with me here. I promise you'll see why they matter and how they can actually free you up to focus on what you love. Most small business owners have anywhere from 200 to 500 processes that they rely on daily. Now that's a lot of moving pieces. And yet, so many of us as business owners think we can just, quote, remember everything or figure it out as we go. For me, that's like trying to cook a complex recipe without ever writing it down. Sure, we might get it right once, but the next time, who knows what the outcome will be. I know as far as I am concerned when I'm working with clients and small business owners, I hear all the time, SOPs are for big corporations, not small businesses like me. Or I don't need them because I just do everything myself. I'm a solopreneur. But let me tell you, SOPs aren't just for massive companies with HR departments and legal teams. No, they're for anyone who wants their business to run efficiently, whether they have a team of 10 or they're flying solo. I want you to think of SOPs as roadmaps. They ensure that tasks are done the same way every time, whether by you or someone else. And they also help ensure that you're not wasting time figuring things out from scratch. SOPs streamline delegation. They maintain quality control. And most importantly, they free up brain space for actual creativity instead of rethinking how to send that invoice or how to respond to a certain client inquiry. So first things first, let's make sure we're on the same page. What exactly is an SOP? It's simply a written document that outlines how a specific task or process is done in your business. Think of it as a step-by-step manual to help you or your team consistently perform tasks to a set standard. That sounds pretty simple, right? Now, let's get into why SOPs are so important. For small business owners, especially if you're trying to grow or scale, SOPs can be a huge huge benefit. They give you structure and consistency, both of which are crucial when you're juggling 1,000,001 different things. When everything has a clear process, it's easier to get things done without having to reinvent the wheel each time. It's like having a playbook for your business, so you're not wasting time figuring out how to do something that's already been done before. I want you to imagine for a second in your business, think of a task that happens not every week, so maybe every 6 months or even every year. It doesn't happen frequently, but it's something that needs to get done on a certain cadence. So you did that task maybe 6 months or a year ago, and it's time to come around and do it again. Do you remember each of the steps and exactly how to do it? For most of us, when we don't do the task over and over on a regular frequency, we forget the details. On top of that, the software that we use to actually complete the task probably has changed in 6 months or a year. And so where that button used to be or how you used to do this little particular part of it is going to be different. And that's where SOPs can really come in and help us. It's already laid out the recipe for us. We just have to follow it. But here's the thing. Did you know there's a big downside to not having SOPs? Without them, everything is chaotic. You find yourself repeating the same questions, asking yourself, how do I do this again? Or what's that next step? You're not only slowing yourself down, but you're also creating inconsistency. As an example, I've worked with clients who were stuck in this cycle, constantly fixing mistakes, addressing things that should have been handled automatically, and spending so much time training new people. Without SOPs, it's like running around trying to catch up with a business that's outrunning you. And here's where the real problem lies. You're burning out. You as business owner are burning out. Not having SOPs means you're always in the weeds, always solving the same problems over and over again. You can't focus on growth when you're stuck doing repetitive tasks. Imagine if every time someone new came into your business, you had to spend hours or days teaching them how to do even the simplest tasks. I don't know about you, but that alone already sounds exhausting, and I haven't even done it. SOPs are the antidote. They allow you to get out of the weeds, hand off tasks with confidence, and keep your focus on what really moves the needle. So let's dig into why SOPs are essential. For starters, they save you time and reduce mistakes. When you have a clear process in place, people, including yourself, know exactly what needs to be done and how to do it right. That consistency across the board is key. So let's say you're an online coach and you've got a new client onboarding process. If you don't have a set way to handle it, you might forget some steps. You might confuse your client or miss out on creating an amazing experience. But with an SOP, you don't have to remember every little detail. You just follow the steps and focus on doing your best work. So you might ask me, okay, what types of businesses really benefit from SOPs? Because I'm not sure yet you've convinced me that I need these. And my answer, honestly, is all of them. Whether you're a solopreneur or you've got a team, SOPs are helpful. If you're running a service-based business like coaching, consulting, digital marketing, SOPs help you streamline repetitive tasks. Things like content creation, client management, admin work. And if you've got a small team, having SOPs allows them to step in and take over without missing a beat. It's the kind of thing that keeps your business running smoothly, even when you're not there. Okay, great. So you convinced me I need these SOPs. But how do I actually write an SOP, Donna? The good news is it's easier than you think. You want to start by breaking down the process into small, manageable steps. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just get it on paper. A simple format I recommend is: what's the task? What's the goal? And what's the step-by-step process to get there? You don't need to overcomplicate this, friends. The idea is to make it easy to follow. And if you're worried about being too detailed, remember, the goal is to make your business easier to run, not add more stress. So if you'd like some help in how to actually figure out what the tasks are that you should be delegating, or you should be writing an SOP for, what the goal is, and how to write this step-by-step process, I highly suggest you check out my Delegate Like a Pro. It'll walk you through what tasks actually need an SOP and what might you want to delegate either now or in the future, as well as details on how to actually write an SOP, and an SOP template is included for you. So I'll drop the link in the show notes. It's called Delegate Like a Pro. It's a quick 5-day digital product that you can walk through yourself. You get an email each day outlining what to do, as well as a nice audio lesson. So check it out if this is something you're looking for help with. All right, now let's talk about some common objections to SOPs, because I know they're floating around out there. And I'm going to tell you 5 that I hear all the time. First one, of course, is I don't have time to create SOPs. And I totally understand. You're busy, no doubt. But creating SOPs actually saves you time in the long run. Think of it as an upfront investment that will pay off over time. It's like building a machine that will run itself. Every time you answer the same question from a team member, fix a mistake, or redo something that was done incorrectly, you're wasting time. SOPs eliminate those repetitive decisions, so your time can actually be spent on that high-impact work instead of fixing avoidable errors. I had a client who ran an online coaching business, and she spent hours each week explaining to her assistant how to set up her email sequences, how to schedule her social media posts, and manage her customer support. The business owner kept getting the same questions week after week. But when she finally documented the steps, those questions disappeared. Suddenly, she had hours back in her week. That, my friends, is the power of an SOP. So it takes a little bit of time up front to have a huge gain on the back end. The other thing I hear all the time about SOPs is I can do everything myself faster. And sure, maybe today you can do it faster, but what happens when you're sick or you need to scale? You can't do it all forever. SOPs allow you to get more done in less time, even if you're working with a team or outsourcing. Some people think creating SOPs is this massive project that'll take months to complete. But you know what? You don't have to write a 100-page manual. Make it simple. SOPs can be short, simple. Even a recorded quick video will help. I want you to start small. Next time you complete a task that you know you're going to have to repeat, you know you're going to have to do it again in the future, I want you to take 5 minutes and jot down the steps. You can record a quick video while you do it. So you've got a written document that shows the steps and you've got a video. And boom, your beginnings of an SOP is created. You don't have to build them all at once. Just document as you go. All right, the third one here is my business is too small for SOPs. And this one is definitely a myth. As I said before, SOPs are for every business. They'll help you stay organized and set a strong foundation for growth. Trust me, it's way easier to implement them when you're small than when you're overwhelmed with a bigger operation. So even if you're a solopreneur, SOPs still matter. Because at some point, you're going to hire help, whether that's a VA, an assistant, or a specialist. When that day comes, you'll either have to spend more time training them from scratch, or you can hand them your SOPs and let them hit the ground running. Which one do you want to do? Another thing I hear is SOPs will take away my creativity. And to be honest with you, this one kind of makes me laugh, because having SOPs doesn't mean you're stuck in a box. SOPs are a framework that helps you with the freedom to do your best work in a clear structure. So think of it like your favorite recipe. You can still add and tweak and, change it up to make the dish your own flair, right? That's the same with SOPs. So let's say you run a design agency. You don't need an SOP for how to design a logo. Your creative process is yours. But you do need an SOP for how to onboard a new client, how to submit final files, or how to invoice. That way, you're not reinventing the wheel every single time, and you can spend your energy on actual design work, that creative work, instead of the administrative tasks. SOPs give you a solid foundation so you can be creative where it actually matters. And the last one I hear frequently is, my team doesn't need them. My team doesn't need SOPs. If you're working with a team, SOPs are even more important. They keep everyone on the same page and make sure no matter who's doing the task, you're not duplicating work or missing steps. And it also means that you, as business owner, don't need to micromanage. Everyone can follow the SOP and get things done right. Okay, before I wrap up, let's talk about why SOPs are basically your business's best friend. First off, they massively improve efficiency. Think about it. Your team doesn't have to keep reinventing the wheel every single time they do a task. I don't know if you've ever bought any furniture from IKEA, but it's like trying to put together that IKEA furniture without the instructions, right? You've got a million pieces, you've got screws, bolts, parts, they're scattered everywhere, but you have no idea what goes where. And so you end up with a lot of trial and error, maybe even a few extra pieces, and probably some frustration along the way. But wouldn't it be so much easier if you just had the guide from the start? And if you think about those IKEA guides, they don't have very many words in them, right? They have a lot of pictures. They show that you've got 3 of this item, 5 of this item, this screw goes in this hole, but there's not a lot of words. But those guides make a huge difference when you're trying to put that furniture together. And that's exactly what SOPs do for your business. They give you a clear step-by-step guide, so you're not wasting time or sanity trying to figure things out on your own. SOPs can ensure that consistency becomes your business's middle name. Your customers will get the exact same experience every time. No surprises. Unless, of course, they're surprised by how smooth everything runs. Well, that's a different story. SOPs also cut down on those endless back and forth about how things should be done. No more saying in Slack, hey, quick question, or texts or emails for every little thing. Communication becomes so streamlined. It's like you're running a well-oiled machine. And training new hires, well, SOPs make this a breeze. They can get you up to speed faster than sitting right beside the person for 8 hours that day. There's no need for you to spend hours explaining the same process over and over. Unless, of course, you enjoy repeating yourself, in which case, go ahead. But I think for most of us, we're looking for efficiency and get it done. SOPs help you spot business gaps right away. So if something's not working, you're going to know exactly where to look. Kind of like finding that one missing sock, in your laundry. And here's the last one. SOP saves you time. You're not constantly fixing mistakes or re-explaining things because honestly, you don't have time for that. SOPs help reduce bottlenecks, which means if someone's out sick or on vacation, your business doesn't have to grind to a halt. You won't be sitting there thinking, oh man, how do I do this again? No, someone else on your team can pick that up and run with it. SOPs make delegation easy. You can actually step away from tasks without worrying the whole thing will collapse to a pile of chaos. Did you hear that? Imagine for a second actually stepping away from your work without fear of everything falling apart. For some of you right now, that's a revolutionary idea. In the end, SOPs aren't just about creating systems. They're about making sure your business can run like a well-organized machine, grow without you pulling your hair out, and give you the freedom to breathe, and maybe even take that vacation you wanted. So there you have it. I hope you can see SOPs aren't as scary as they seem. They're the key to efficiency, consistency, and freedom in your business. SOPs allow you to step out of the weeds, reclaim your time, and finally focus on what really matters. So if you're ready to take the next step in making your business more streamlined and efficient, I'd love for you to check out my Delegate Like a Pro resource. Inside, you'll learn what tasks you should be delegating and how to do that successfully. I'll drop the link in the show notes, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast for more episodes on growing your business without the overwhelm. Remember, less hustle, more strategy. You've got this. Thank you for joining me on this episode of CEO Amplify. I appreciate you being part of our thriving community of ambitious business owners. If you enjoyed today's episode, I kindly ask you to share this podcast with a friend and take a hot minute to rate and leave a review. It would mean the world to me. Your feedback helps me reach more people and continue providing valuable content. Thanks so much for your support. Keep shining, and we'll catch you on the next episode.